What if you could go from a brand new photographer to running a six-figure business in just a year and a half? My guest today on the Portrait System podcast is Elle Yeon, and she did exactly that. Elle built her personal branding photography business from the ground up, starting at zero, and now her sessions start at $3,000 each. She walks us through how she prices herself confidently, how she gets her clients in the door, and how she creates an experience so amazing that her clients can't stop talking about it, and that brings in tons of referrals. She gives us all the information today, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you, Elle Yeon. Hi, Elle. Welcome to the Portrait System. How are you?
Good. How are you? So happy to be here.
I'm doing well. Where are you recording from?
This is my studio in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay. And that's pretty close to DC area, right?
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Very
awesome.
close. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a lot to cover today. I'm excited. You're going to talk a lot about personal branding and the market you tap into there and all that good stuff. But before we get into that, I want to hear a little bit about just your experience with starting a business. Like, have you always been a photographer?
I haven't. I've always been an iPhone photographer. Like, I'm the friend that takes pictures at groups on food.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you started, like, how did you even get into this business then if you were only, just an iPhone photographer? What happened?
So when I was in my 20s, right out of college, I wanted to go into photography, but everyone was advising me like, oh, it's not very stable. You should get a 9-to-5 and maybe do that later on. And so I just paused that dream and put that on hold for a long time. And I bounced around lots of different jobs and eventually found my place in graphic design. So I was doing art in that kind of way.
Okay.
Graphic design, marketing for a lot of realtors at a real estate brokerage. And then once I had my third child, when he was about 1 year old, I was working remote, but it was just too hard to juggle everything and get all my work done within that 9-to-5 block. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I quit my job, and after 8 months, I said, this is too hard to be a stay-at-home mom. I need some kind of interaction with adults. I need some kind of creative outlet. And that's when, I don't exactly remember how, but I came back to photography. And I was like, I'm about to turn 40. I would love to pursue this and see what can happen. And so I just jumped in. I was following a couple people on Instagram, and I saw someone was using a Canon R5. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a Canon R5. And I had never used manual settings before, and I just jumped in with both feet.
Oh yeah, you just went for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so super random, but I used to play roller derby, and so I was connected in the roller derby community, and the photographer for the team in Seattle, who I was friends with a couple of the girls, he took me under his wing and he taught me how to shoot. Like, I was watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out the relationship between, f-stop and shutter speed and all of that. And I'm not a super quick learner when it comes to tech, but it was so nice to have Frank Blau out there. Appreciate you. He totally taught me. But yeah, it can be intimidating, especially jumping right to an R5. And so how was that experience for you?
I think that the camera taught me how to take pictures. Sometimes I wasn't even fully sure what I was doing, like trying to remember everything that I was reading online and all the tutorials. But I felt like I had like a bumper of grace because my camera was so good.
That helps.
Yeah, so I think that really helped me to get better.
Okay. I have an R6. I didn't make the leap to the R5, but I did the R6, and it really is amazing.
Yeah.
The focus where it automatically focuses on the person's eye, and yeah, it's very helpful. Okay, so you learned how to use your camera, and then what happened?
So at first I was just doing shoots for friends and family, and I was saying, hey, like, I'm just starting out. I need like portfolio pieces if you want to come out. And so of course a lot of people are like interested in free photos. And so that's how I kind of built my portfolio in the beginning. And I had my relationship with some people in the real estate industry from when I was a graphic designer there. And so I was like, hey, branding session, are you curious? Are you interested? And so these are people who had never done one before. And I also had never done one before. So we kind of learned together. So I had like a couple of friends, realtor friends, who were like willing to explore and try different things with me. And it was actually so much fun. It's kind of just like hanging out with a friend, but like you have a camera. And
Right.
so I think that helps to get like those natural photos and reactions. And it just went on from there.
Okay, so you built your portfolio with people you know, that sort of thing, shooting for free. That's so common. That's how I did it too. I really just I did a lot of shoots for free just to, because if you're going to charge industry pricing, you have to know what you're doing.
Yes.
I mean, the photos don't have to be the best in the world, but you have to somewhat know what you're doing for sure. So having that practice is so important. Something I know about you though is it was only like a year and a half later that you like your sales average went way up. Is that right?
Yes. So my entire first year of business, I think I made about $27K in sales. And so even that, I was like kind of proud of myself. I was like, okay, I did
Yeah.
something. And then this year, I'm on track to possibly hit 6 figures.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yes. And I'm just really excited because the money is really nice. But for me, it's like proof that people kind of believe in what I'm doing and that they get it. They like get what I'm trying to create here and like willing to invest in that. And so that's really exciting for me.
So you've had your business going for a year and a half, and you're set to make 6 figures this year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell people about what I know you said branding, but tell people about your genre and who your target client, target market is.
I think my target market is women who have maybe had a couple branding sessions before, like they're already investing in their marketing and their visibility, but it just hasn't really hit or landed for them. And I think what I try to offer like a full production of where I will talk to you and really get to know your business. We will talk about we'll talk about poses, we'll talk about hair and makeup, we'll talk about their props, the adjectives that they want people to think when they look at their branding. And so it's kind of more like a handheld, like higher touch process. And even after they receive their photos, I'm so happy to do like that post-session consult where like, oh, you could use these photos for this, this, and this. Remember we talked about this? And kind of make it really easy for them to just level up their branding.
Okay, I love that. Doing a consultation and really understanding people and what they want and what they really want to portray to their potential clients is so important. So I love that you do that. Now, when people think photo shoot, they probably think you show up somewhere, you take a couple photos, and that's it. How are you conveying that you're doing this whole process where you're going to really hone in on what it is they want and hold their hand through it and even help them afterwards?
I think I'm trying to find other ways to portray it in my Instagram and social media, but really like it's through the discovery call where we sit down and I hear what their kind of business problems or hurdles have been. And I try to think of ways that my service will serve them. And I think once they hear about all the different things that like I help them through and like they understand that I truly care about helping them as a business and as a human, as a woman, they're much more like, okay, I can trust this person. She's not just trying to like take pictures and like bounce, but she wants to do this together with me, like a collaborative process.
Okay, so you said discovery call, but how are you even getting people to do a discovery call? Where are you finding these people? Because, I hear this all the time, and I remember being there and where you get your website done and you get your social media up and you're posting and it's crickets. Like you're not hearing from anyone. So how are you making that happen?
Yeah, that really hit me in a different way that even famous photographers, if they're not kind of out there and putting their message out, like they can also have like a slump in like inquiries. And so I was like, okay, then especially me, I need to be out there like meeting people, like networking, like in-person networking, going to different groups in the area, kind of like more organically. So I focused on that a lot in the beginning. And so the connections I made at different women entrepreneur groups, things like that have really helped as well. And through that, I get referrals. And these days, I've been marketing my 40 over 40 campaign. And surprisingly, a lot of women who want to do the 40 over 40 are business owners. And they end up kind of converting to branding session clients. So they kind of combine it together. So I
love
have
that.
that option for them. And so, yeah, it's a great way for like them to hear about it and talk to me.
In-person networking was instrumental for my business. That's how I completely grew my business and just made so much money in that way, and referrals and all of that. I think sometimes people cringe at that, thinking like I have to actually go and be face to face and in networking, business meetings and all of that. It's like, oh my gosh. It can be really, really intimidating. Is this something that you feel like are you an extrovert? Are you really comfortable with that? What was that process like for you, I guess?
Okay, I will say that I'm pretty introverted, but I like people. So I like meeting people, but I'm very shy. I tend to not make the first move. And so that was all my 20s and 30s. But something about turning 40, I feel free. I feel like if I see a room full of people, I don't think about what they're thinking about me or how they're going to judge me or think about me. I'm just like, oh, I get this opportunity to meet these people and talk to them about their life. And then hopefully, we'll find something that clicks. And so I just feel like the older I get, the more comfortable I am in who I am and what I do. And so I'm just more excited to get to know them as people.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I'm 48, and I felt a shift also when I turned 40. It's like I just give less Fs or something. But I think the other thing too that you said, it's really important. You don't have to be this extreme extrovert to be successful at these meetings. Like there are so many things that you can do to really connect with people, and a lot of it starts with just being curious and asking questions and not making it all about you.
Yes.
When I would go to these meetings, in my head, I'm not like, I'm going to make this person a client. Like, I'm going to tell them all about me and whatever. A lot of times, people didn't even know what I did at first because I was just constantly asking people questions about them. And I think that shows that you genuinely care, that you are interested in what they do. And eventually, it turns back onto like, okay, what do you do? And then you've already got this sort of connection. That to me, that was crucial when it came to networking. So I guess I'm saying that because if you are introverted and if you're like breaking out into a cold sweat thinking about doing this, it really doesn't have to be hard. And it's just something you have to do. And maybe it's not, necessarily networking meetings or whatever, but if you're in the personal branding genre, which is such an amazing genre, I feel like it's really difficult to truly grow your business without that. I put it out there. I said it. Okay, so I want to back up a little bit because I want to talk more about how you're getting your clients and marketing, but I thought of something and I wanted to back up. Because to go from making $27,000 your first year to now you're on track to $100,000, did you have like a business plan or a business model, or, how did you even know like how to price yourself and, just like your business plan in general?
Okay. I found the portrait system pretty early on as I was doing my Google research. And
this podcast or our membership?
The membership.
Okay.
And the podcast too, like through the connection. And so through there, like I started taking all the classes, like learned about Sue Bryce. And I saw I actually think I purchased the branding package that you have as well.
Oh, nice. The personal branding system also.
Yes. And then once I was in the
cool.
Facebook group, I learned about Kat Ford Coates, and she was just branching off and doing her own thing. And so I became one of her, I signed up for her coaching.
Awesome.
So I did that for most of my first year.
Okay. So you really dove straight into the education part of it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. When I think back about when I was first starting, if I didn't have certain instructors that I learned from, I would not be where I'm at today. And I know there's a fine line between just constantly buying more education, and not taking action. And actually finding something that resonates with you, a business model, just something that resonates with you. You can tweak it and make it your own, but taking action once you have that education at your fingertips. I feel like that is crucial. And I'm assuming with how far you've come in such a short amount of time that you did take action. I think that's a mistake people make. Again, they put the website and they get a portfolio and they do the social media and then they sit and wait. And that action piece is like, it's so crucial.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, I have my share of courses and workshops that are still sitting in my downloads folder that I haven't opened up. But really, it took a while for like that mindset to kind of just be absorbed throughout my brain, because you don't start off thinking like a professional photographer. You start off thinking like, oh, like, is anyone gonna like my work, or how do I do anything? And so I knew from the beginning, like, I need to learn from other people, and I will definitely fast track a lot of things if I don't have to learn it the hard way myself. Like, let me learn from their mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to recreate the wheel is the thing. You don't have to figure this all out on your own. Like, there is so much support out there to help you. And again, when you do find a business model that is interesting to you, or an educator that speaks to you, you can kind of make it your own. You know, there are certain things that I learned way back when. I took pieces from different parts and then just put it all together. Yeah, so I guess I'm just saying out there, if you're just unsure of what to do, find something that resonates. The portrait system obviously worked for Elle, it worked for me, it works for tons of people, but just find something. There's so much education at your fingertips to really get you going. But then you have to take the action. Yes. That is like, have to take the action. Okay, so you started going to groups. Meetings. Now, something that people ask me all the time is, how do I find these meetings? And they aren't in my town and that sort of thing. And I know you're in a larger area, you know, the Virginia, D.C. area. It's, heavily populated and that sort of thing. So some people are going to say, well, I don't live in a big city. And I'll tell you, like, I grew my business in Seattle where there were lots of meetings. Where I'm at now in Chelsea, Michigan is a very small town. So I do have to drive. And actually, when I did live in Seattle, I was driving to Issaquah, which would sometimes take an hour to get there. You have to think outside of, if you're in a small town, you have to think outside of your town. Where can you go? So, okay, back to you. How are you finding these groups? And, tell us a little bit about that.
I think it's easy once you start following local businesswomen and business owners in the area. You kind of start to see like the groups that are behind that, the inner circles, I guess, of friendships or like business connections. And once you kind of get to know a few, like, you're introduced into other groups as well. And so I think for me, I just had a very open heart about it. I even helped to start a Nova Photogs social club, where just photographers in the area can just meet up for coffee, for dinners. We have a holiday party. Like, we're having our second holiday party this fall.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I think just being open to people is a game changer, rather than just like sitting on my computer alone at home, like, what can I do for my business? So yeah, being active.
I mean, I know you knew people, like you said, in the real estate industry and that sort of thing. Were you just Google searching meetups in the area, or were people telling you about them, or, specifically, like, is there just one group you go to? Are you spreading yourself across multiple groups?
There's one group called Made for Mothers that I found out, I think, through a realtor friend. She had heard about it, but it's for a lot of moms who are in business. So I went to a couple of their in-person events where you get to just meet people, have a couple like speakers, and then I joined their mastermind. So I did 2 of those, like a mastermind in the fall and in the winter. And so I still keep in touch with most of those women to this day. And we just show each other what's possible here in Virginia.
All right. And it's just that one group that you're part of, or are you part of multiple?
I'm part of that. I'm not in the coaching anymore, and
not so much for education, but just for how you get your clients is what I'm talking about.
Okay. I think right now 40 over 40 has really been a great helper in getting clients, because the women who do it are so excited about it, and they share it with their friends, and then they're all seeing the photos and they want it done. And then when they actually got on the call to talk to me, they're like, actually, I'm a business owner, so I want to use this for my branding. And then I'm like, okay, well, I think you might be interested in a branding collection, like the branding session. Then it just goes from there.
Okay. So just one more quick thing about groups. You had said it was a mom group. I actually joined a group called Business Among Moms before I wasn't even pregnant. I didn't have kids. I wasn't pregnant, but I got a lot of clients from that group. And I guess if you're out there wondering, how am I going to find a group, try different groups. See what feels comfortable to you. Some people really love the regimented, like you have to come to a certain amount of meetings and do however many referrals. I was like, nope, I don't like to be told what to do. I like to just do my, that was not the type of group for me. I wanted a group that was more flexible, just whatever it is that works really well for you, just try different groups that kind of match that and see what feels right. And it might, your first meeting, you might kind of be like, oh, I don't know. Like I remember going to one and I felt like it was very cliquey and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But I was like, I'm going to make these ladies like me. I'm going to kill them with kindness and I'm going to find my way to make these ladies like me. And eventually I stuck with that group for a long time. But the thing is with networking groups, you hire who you know, like, and trust, right? So if someone in the group refers you and says, I had my photos done with Elle, it was amazing, I absolutely loved it, I can almost promise you that someone else is also going to book you. And then it's just going to snowball from there. It's all about the relationship building, and it's all about, just gaining that trust and showing the services that you provide and being just interested in what they do. It just makes such a difference. So I'll get off my soapbox now about that. But.
No, for sure. I fully agree. And it takes a while to find a good group. Like I've gone to different gatherings of people that it just did not feel right or I didn't feel comfortable. So
yeah, for
keep
sure.
trying.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you had mentioned before that your target market is obviously women, female business owners, but a lot of your business owners are 6-figure, 7-figure business owners. So you, according to your website and your Instagram, you target like luxury, or you make it a luxury branding experience. You use that word luxury. Your prices start at $3,000. And your website really matches that. It looks really professional and it does look luxury. So I feel like your messaging and your website seem to match. Now, I know I keep kind of honing in on this, but finding those clients who are willing to spend the money. I know you said 40 over 40 and networking groups, but I guess let's make that connection between the 40 over 40 and now you're getting these, 6 and 7-figure business clients. Like, how does that all connect?
I think it's very close together because women over 40 often feel like they're invisible. Like they often feel like they shouldn't be on camera, that it's the younger people who are more appealing, like visually and personality wise. And so they're shying away. And then I feel like there's this also this movement of people saying, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to show myself the way I am and be authentic and take it or leave it. This is my mark on the earth. And so 40 or 40 is really to show women what they can be. And then branding, I think everyone is kind of coming to terms with, if you have a business on Instagram, especially small business, people want to know you because there's so many options, oversaturated in every single field. And so what's going to set it apart is you. And that was a little bit hard for me because, okay, then I have to do that for me as well. Like I have to show up. I can't hide behind my photos. And so I really have to practice what I preach. And so that's been a journey for me as well, to kind of put myself out there so that I can show my clients that, yeah, you can do it too.
How do you market your 40 over 40?
I market it through Instagram posts. But what's been most hitting with people is when I talk about it in my stories. I just am like walking out somewhere or at home and I'm like, I'm either talking about the session or like I just did the session with someone and how it was. And I think a lot of people respond to those kind of posts. Okay,
so yes, I love that. And also, like, I know you said you were a graphic designer and you had all these connections and people before who are maybe following you. Because it's like, if you don't have anyone who's watching them, how do you get people in? So do you have a huge following on Instagram?
No, not at all. I have, I just hit 1,400 recently.
Okay, so it's not massive, but you're getting people in from this. Yeah, so I feel like it's so, so, so important. It's not about the big numbers that you have. It's it's the quality of your list. It's the quality of your followers. Right. Make sure you are speaking to your target market, because those are the people who you're going to book. Even if you only have a couple hundred people following you, that's all you need.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you said a lot of your 40 over 40 women who do the shoots transition into the personal branding. So start by just telling us, so for 40 over 40, they come in, do they get a free photo? Do they get their hair and makeup done? What do they have to pay? What do they get out of that? And then we'll talk about your personal branding packages and how you get to that $3,000 starting mark.
So the 40 over 40, I don't know if I priced it too low, but it is priced very low at $600 for what you receive. They get a design consult, they get a professional hair and makeup, they have the hour shoot, and they can select their photos afterward. And it involves, there's a written interview where I will learn more about their story. And then that will eventually turn into a magazine, which will be at the gala exhibit that I'm going to do. And so it's really just a special moment to not just have your photos done and keep them to yourself, but really share your photo and your story with others around you, with your community.
I love that.
Yes, and I really recommend like friends doing it together so that they can kind of be hyping each other up and be like, wow, like, it feels like a shared experience that you can do together.
I think that even though we should be in photos, women over 40, we absolutely should be. We shouldn't have to have a reason for it. But I feel like this gives people a reason, and it makes them feel more comfortable because other women are also doing it with them. And it's not just like, look at me, even though it should be just look at me. But so I love that. Okay, so they do that, and then you find out they have a business or something. How do you then make that, transition from it's $600 and you get all of this into a personal branding package?
So what I do is I do that right at the discovery call. So we decide then, okay, actually the signature branding collection works a lot better for your needs at this time. And because it's for a business purpose, it's tax deductible, and it has, that's kind of like an incentive for a lot of people as well. And so I say, if you're interested in doing this branding collection, then the 40 over 40 becomes a $200 add-on.
Oh.
And then they're like, oh, nice. Like,
oh, I like that. Okay, so they're okay. So they don't do the 40 over 40 experience for the 600. You just go straight into Yes, that's really smart.
And they usually go for the $5,000 signature collection because that also includes B-roll. So I'll have my my phone camera and doing like little clips for them to use as reels later.
Okay, of the photo shoot or of them doing what they do?
During the photo shoot. It can be BTS of the photo shoot itself, but a lot of branding clients, they need like little clips of them to use in reels. So usually it's 2 location, one at my studio for like more professional studio shots, and then on location, usually at a nicely staged listing. And so I'll do like video at both places.
Okay, so a lot of your clients are real estate agents then, it sounds like.
They are. I would say maybe 60% of the branding collection, clients.
Very cool.
Yes.
Tell us about your packages. So you talked about the $5,000 collection. Tell us where does it start and go up from there.
Well, I really just market the 2 collections for branding. There's a branding refresh at $3,500, and then the signature branding at $5,000. And it doubles the amount of photos you get. You get 40 versus 20, as well as the video footage. And so a lot of people hear about the B-roll clips and they're just like, yeah, I need that. And they offer that one.
Very cool. Do you hear very often, oh, that's too expensive for me?
I do sometimes. I would say a lot of people come to me knowing that my prices are going to be a little bit higher. And especially when they've known me since like the beginning and they're like, oh, you used to charge like $200 kind of thing. It's kind of, I feel like a younger me would have felt bad and be like, oh, it's okay, I'll just keep you at the lower price. But I feel like the mindset that I have now is like, yeah, my business has grown this much and what I offer has grown exponentially.
I love that. And I love that people are, have been with you from the start and they'll still remain clients. I mean, that's something that people talk about is how do I raise my prices if my previous clients were used to paying X amount? But you can see, like I said, from your website, you are displaying that you do have this luxury service and product. And you're holding their hand through the entire process. They're getting their hair and makeup done. You have a design consultation, all of that. I think that speaks for itself. So, if you are going to raise your prices significantly, make sure that, okay, you don't necessarily have to do this, but it gives you that more of like meat and potatoes of what to say to people is, yes, my prices have gone up and you'll see here's why. Yeah. I think that's really important. So yeah, so you do. You show everything that you're marketing matches the product and quality that you're giving, which I think is, that's fantastic. Yes. Okay, so take us through, you do the discovery call, you book them in, you're talking to them ahead of time with the consultation. Tell us about the photo shoot itself and what that process is like. Are they getting multiple outfits, hair and makeup, that sort of thing?
Yeah, for sure. Especially for the signature branding collection, I say like bring 8 to 9 outfits because sometimes you bring it and on the day of like you're just not feeling it anymore or with the lighting and the colors. And so I always like for them to have more options than less. So I just really love how it starts off with the hair and makeup because they're usually very busy on the go people. Like who's not, right?
Right.
And so you get to just like sit and relax and kind of feel pampered and it kind of calms you down. And then leading into usually we start here at the studio. And I think what I offer is like, I'm not the photographer that will like yell and be like, do this, do that. But I just kind of see who they are and I kind of respond to it, if that makes sense.
Yes, like you're mirroring them.
Yeah, for sure. Mirroring what energy they're giving off.
Yep.
And even though we have like custom mood boards that kind of get the overall vibe, I don't look at it very much because we're not here to recreate Pinterest, but we're here to show who you are and your personality and let that kind of open up. And that's not going to happen as much if I'm just like, okay, now sit here and do this. Like,
Sometimes I find the hardest shoots are when they do come with a million Pinterest photos and it's like, well, one, my studio or my background doesn't look like that. 2, you don't look like that. And 3, it's like the expectation. You're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, my favorite clients are kind of like, I know the gist of what they want, and then they're like, do your thing. And I swear it ends up working so much better that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that trust from a client is like gold.
It really is. And that goes back to the relationship that you've built with them and other people and the referrals. And it all goes back to making connections at those, in person, somehow, somewhere. Yeah, it makes a really big difference. Okay, so you do the shoot. Do you do multiple outfits?
Yes.
Okay.
So we usually spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes per outfit. I try to be efficient with my shooting, and I try not to overshoot.
Speaking my language.
Yeah, and then so we'll do as much as we can here. I have some like backdrop areas, plain wall areas, and like this little couch interior kind of area. And so, we get a good variety from even just here, and then on location if they just want something more specific.
Okay, so you do some in studio, some on location, and then are you bringing them back to the studio to do a photo viewing, or are you doing this digitally? What does that look like?
So that's one of the things that like I was taught that I should just do in person after the shoot, but I waver on that depending on the client because sometimes they're just like, I'm so exhausted, and then I'm like, okay, would you like to come
you're talking
back?
about like right after the shoot.
Oh, yeah,
like immediate. Yeah. No, I don't do that
right
either.
after. Okay,
that stresses me out. Some people love it, but I'm like, no. My brain's fried there. Yeah. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I tell them, I'm happy to review the photos with you in person here. If you come back to the studio, I can do like a Zoom session, go over it, or I can just deliver the unretouched photos in a gallery with a watermark and for you to look at your own pace. And 90% of the time they say, I would prefer just looking at it at my own pace, send me the gallery. And then I'm like, yeah, and if you have any follow-up questions, like whether anything can be edited, I'm definitely here to talk you through it.
So you send them the completely unedited, just raw photos, and they look through them.
Yes. And so what I do is a quick edit. I just edit for like exposure and color.
Okay.
After culling them. And so this is something that I still haven't given up to AI. I just do that myself, even though it takes a long time. But I send that to them. And then with the ones that they decide on, I edit, throw it in Evoto, and then give them the final.
Evoto. Life-changing.
Yes.
Totally life-changing.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, we do things differently in that way. I don't show any unedited. I edit all the ones that I'm going to show them. I usually retouch for a personal branding shoot between like 35 and 45 photos, and I show them that way. What made you decide to show them completely raw? I mean, a lot of people do it that way. I'm just curious.
Okay. I do it because it takes a lot of time to edit it further, and I want to show them. Usually they get about like 80 to 100 per hour of shooting.
Okay.
So the most I will send them will maybe be like 200 images, but that's a lot. So I try to keep it on like 100 or under. And what I realized is that what I pick is not always what they would pick. And so I try to give them a little bit more space to be like, okay, I think it's okay, but they might love this.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, interesting. Very cool. Okay, so when it comes to getting paid, do you find that you have to chase them down in order for them to make their choices and to get paid? Because I mean that is an experience that a lot of people have had when they're just sending them a gallery and they're on their own time in their own space. So how does that work?
So I usually don't have anything that they would have to select or add on afterward. Typically, they just get what they signed up for. And so say they sign up for the $5,000 package, they can either pay that all in full at the time of booking, or they can split it in up to like 3 payments. And those are kind of automated through HoneyBook is what I use. And so I typically find that I don't have to chase them.
Do you give them a timeline? Like you need to choose these photos by such and such date?
I don't.
Wow. And you don't have any problem getting people to come back and say, okay, these are the photos I want?
I've only had one person that I had to follow up a couple times to say like, hey, do you want to go through them together, or to say something? But usually they're pretty excited to like pick their photos. If anything, they're like, I can't decide because like there's so much, but this is what I finally did. Or
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad it's working well for you. Back when I used to do senior galleries, I would just give them and then they had to make their choices. It was like pulling teeth.
Oh yeah,
getting people to respond. And maybe it's because there's a teenager involved and it's the teen and coordinating with the mom or the dad or whatever, and there can be a lot to that. But maybe something to consider if you're listening is to put a time limit on that. Like you have, a week or 10 days or something to make these choices. If they do decide for you to just send them the gallery, that way you're not chasing them. Because I remember what that felt like, and it was not fun. It's like, hello, I need to get paid here. Like I did all of this work. That's why I ended up switching to doing the digital viewing only and doing it that way. But anyway, that's just something to consider, is to putting a timeline on it so people know I have this deadline, and you can send a follow-up like, okay, you have 2 more days to choose your photos. Make sure you let me know, that sort of thing.
So what happens if you don't choose by that time?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say maybe there's an extra fee, or I think most people are probably pretty respectful if you tell them there's a timeline up front. I think it would probably be a one-off that would not respond to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's possible that they still don't do it, but I think most people are probably pretty respectful to stay within that time limit.
That's true.
But yeah. All right, this is awesome. It sounds like you have your process down, and it's so great. It's only been a year and a half, and you already have this much success. Like, very, very cool.
I mean, I am still at the point where I start off every month at 0, and then like things trickle in. And so I would love to be more booked out further. So that's the piece that I'm working on.
I mean, I have a feeling that'll probably happen, as time goes on. It's only been a year and a half. Like, that's pretty remarkable. I will say, too, though, it's interesting with branding because, I mean, back when I was doing, because I'm only doing a couple shoots a month now, but back when I was doing 10 to 12, 8 to 12 a month, I was probably booked out 2 months in advance, I would say. But that took a little while to get to that point. It's not like weddings where, you're booked out so far in advance. It's really not. It's something that I remember when I switched from weddings to personal brandings, I really had to wrap my brain around having an empty calendar and looking at it like, oh my gosh, But I have a feeling, Elle, that it's not going to take very long. If you keep doing what you're doing and providing this amazing service and keep in-person networking, I have a feeling it's going to be there in no time.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, your photos are beautiful. You're making a name for yourself. You're really putting yourself out there. You've got the 40 over 40 campaign marketing as well. I mean, you're doing a lot to get people in, and referrals can take time too. Like, have you ever had someone say they're interested in a shoot and then you reach out and then it's either crickets or they're just not ready for whatever reason?
Yeah.
There were times when people would say they were interested in a shoot and not do it for 1, 2, maybe even 3 years. 3 years later. Like, sometimes it can take a while.
Yeah.
But just remember that if someone, if they say no, it might just mean not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting yourself out there. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And one last question just about your studio, because did you start by shooting in your home, or did you get a studio right away?
So I tried to have like a portable setup in my home, but I would have to, I have an open floor plan. So my kitchen and living room everything is open. So I'd have to clean the whole house every time someone wanted to come over. So
I remember that.
This is not working. So I started renting a couple studios in the area. And after a few shoots a month, I was like, you know what? I would love to have my own space. And it was right after I had been in business for 1 year that it just really got in my head, I need my own space. And so I found a commercial realtor, and within 4 months, she made it happen. I had my keys, and it took about another 3 months to renovate.
Wow.
And it's been amazing.
Are you renting it, or do you own it?
I'm leasing it for 5 years.
Oh, you're leasing. Okay. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Yes. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. I do have 4 questions that I always ask at the end of each episode, though, if you're willing to answer those questions. All right. The first one is, what is something you can't live without during a photo shoot?
Can't live without during a photo shoot? I would say I just really like having my studio lights. I think it's my comfort space.
What lights do you shoot with?
I shoot with Godox right now, 400 and 600.
Nice. Awesome.
But having those big modifiers were like a game changer.
What shape do you use?
I have like a 6-foot umbrella.
Okay.
And a couple like lantern ones and a few different shapes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Number 2 is, how do you spend your time when you're not working?
When I'm not working, I try to spend my time with my kids. And so they're very young still, 7, 6, and 3.
Oh, yeah. I'm in that boat too. Mine are 7 and 9.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And so I feel like especially at this stage of their life, they need their mom and they need more of my presence. And it was really easy at first to just be editing while I'm home watching them.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I'm trying to keep the editing away from them. And when I'm with them, they're not watching me on my laptop or my phone, and just engage with them more. And so that's what my focus has been recently.
Yeah. I love that. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. There are times when, especially like on a day where, if they don't have school one day or something, I know yours are a little bit younger, but well, at least your 3-year-old. But if my husband's home with them and it's a work day for me and I'm in my bedroom editing or doing whatever I need to do and they come busting in and I'm like, dudes, you got to pretend like I'm not here. It's like you feel so bad. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
for
It's
sure.
so hard. But I'm like, and I try to explain to them, like, you could have parents who have these office jobs where we're literally gone from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. every day, you know? So it's hard to, I don't know. It's a balance.
Yeah.
Always a
Yeah,
balance.
for sure.
Okay, number 3 is, what is a photography-specific product that you recommend to people? I know you said the Godox lights, but is there anything else that it's like a must-have for you as a product?
Can I just say my camera? Because I really love it and I depend on it. And I wouldn't be the photographer I am without it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and the R6 is an amazing camera, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was cheap. I said R5. I said, wait, I meant to say R5 for you. You have the R5, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, I have the R6. I cheaped out and bought the cheaper one. But it's amazing. Like, it's such an amazing camera.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4 is, what would you tell people who are just starting out?
I would say learn as much as you can and put it into practice. And don't be afraid of using some money.
Yeah.
I feel like putting the investment towards things makes some things quicker, like the coaching and different stuff like that. And just the investment into gear. You don't want to become like, what is that word for, like, you just care about buying more gear?
Like a gearhead or a techie?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you just need to set yourself up with the basics and just go.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the lens that my 85, I have the Canon 85 1.8 that I paid $499 for like 12 years ago, and I still use that lens. I never upgraded to the L series. I was like, I don't need it. Why do I need it? Like, and I know there are people out there who just love specific gear, and that's fine too. But for me, I would rather go on vacation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you don't need all the best gear. I mean, it's helpful to have, certain things, but
Yeah.
all right, awesome. Where can people find you online, Elle?
My Instagram is Elle Yeon Photo, ELLEYEON photo, and my website is elleyeonphotography.com.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you again. I appreciate this. This is great, and you'll have to keep us posted in the personal. You have to keep us posted in the Portrait System Facebook group about how you're doing. And this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button so that way you won't miss what's coming next. And if you want even more photography, education, resources, and tools, head over to theportraitsystem.com. We'll see you in the next episode.